Hello, welcome to Local Edition. I'm Leslie Leyton. An increase in taxes helped balance the budget this last time around, but our next guest says that we need a more reliable revenue stream. Assemblyman Allan Mansoor is here to talk about that, among other things. Welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, Prop 30 did help get us through a rough spot, but it's not something we should be relying on. Our total spending is about $240 billion. And that's up $6 billion from last year's budget, and I think that's taken us in the wrong direction. I think the governor is doing a good job with focusing a little bit more on our debt and also establishing a rainy day fund, but there's a lot of underlying problems that are going on. Not all of Prop 30 is going to education as promised. Schools are still hurting. Our debt service and state worker salaries are a major problem, and that's where you see a lot of the increase in the budget. So there are a lot of concerns. We also rely very much on personal income tax, which when you have capital gains that we rely on, that causes big spikes and big lows in the budget. So long term, I think we need to have some really long-term fixes.
Okay, you brought up a lot of issues that we can break down, starting with the increase in the income tax to help balance the budget, leading to a surplus that at least the governor and Republicans, Democrats agree a rainy day fund is a good idea. At least it's not going to some sort of area where it needs to be funded year over year.
I'm skeptical, or I'm hesitant to call it a surplus, because we're not focusing on retiree pension debt that we have. We're not focusing on our health care costs. We have about $350 billion in debt in our state, at least, and a lot of that hasn't been addressed. High-speed rail, we continue to spend on these things, yet we're shortchanging education. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, let's talk about some of your alternatives, your solutions for revenue streams, revenue sources.
Well, one of the things, it could be a flat tax, it could be property tax. There's a lot of taxes that are more fair and more stable, but just relying so much, I'm not saying get rid of income tax altogether, but when we rely so much on it. Also, I think transparency is a huge issue. We're being called up to Sacramento on Sunday to vote on the budget. Where's the public input? And before I forget, I want to encourage your listeners and viewers to go to budgetfactcheck.com if they want more information.
Okay, so you've brought up a lot of issues. For instance, the pension, unfunded pension liability. You've talked about questioning the stream of revenue, but also you're talking about where this money is going once it comes in. Is there really any serious discussion about pension reform in Sacramento?
No, not in my opinion. There has been some in the past, but it hasn't really solved the underlying problems. It's still something that we need to address long term. And I want to encourage people to go to cabudgetfactcheck.com, stay informed, ask for more transparency. We're being called up on a Sunday. That's no way to do the people's business. There's no way to have really input by the public. Okay,
so we have about 30 seconds left. If I went on factcheck.com, what are the things you would want me to see right there? Give me some. Give me the top 10.
You're going to see all kinds of analysis on past budgets. You're going to see something you can click on for Prop 30 and see where the money really is going. You're going to find all kinds of easy to read, easy to find information so that the voters, the citizens, can be more informed.
It seems like there's a real move to get people involved and educated on these very complex issues.
I think that would bring a lot more transparency to our process and help people be more involved and bring more accountability.
All right, Assemblyman Allan Mansoor, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us. I'm Leslie Leyton.